Thank you, Murray, and welcome to my new video series where I'm going to be playing on F199 as Heinz, Harald, Frentzen in the Jordan. So all races will be 100%, all races will have no assists on. So we're going to jump straight into qualifying here, where our first hot lap, we're going towards turn 3, and we're going to slightly outbrake ourselves here and do a little bit of lawn mowing, so the lap's not going to be any good. So this game is incredibly difficult to get right on the braking. It's not like the modern F1 games. This one, if you stay on the brake too long, you will spin off. As we go to the end of sector 1 on the next lap, it's our teammate Damon Hill who is on the pole, just a fraction down. Actually, a fraction up. We're a tiny bit faster than him. As we go to the end of sector 2, and we're over 2 seconds up in front. So it is a little bit of a flaw with the game. If you go out without many AI on the track, you will be on pole by about 4 seconds. So I'll try and get my hot laps in whilst other cars are out on the track, so it will be a bit closer. So as we go to the end of the lap here, and we're on pole by nearly a second from Mika Hakkinen. It's a great lap, and it actually turned out to be our fastest time, as this is my final attempt here. I locked up the rear brakes and gone off at turn 6. Now this was the final seconds of qualifying, so the AI will post their fastest laps at this moment here. We cross the line, and will we stay there? We'll leave it to Murray Walker and the grid. Okay, as we pull up towards the grid and our pole position slot. Now, something I experimented here was some of the replay angles. You can only get like the first half of the race with some replay angles. If you don't like it, just let me know. I'll get rid of it, but we'll go over to the red lights here. And we're underway. It's a bit of a poor start here, because this game you do have to manually start with a clutch and your revs, and Mika Hakkinen has already taken us. He's completely in front going towards the first corner, and we almost got taken out by Jean Lacey there. Jean Lacey had a fantastic qualifying to end up that far on the grid, and he almost took us out. So we go towards turn 3, and just like qualifying, I've outbraked myself. I'm on the grass. Will we stay in front? No, we won't. The Ferrari of Eddie Irvine's got in front, but we're right up close behind him. Can we take him back going towards turn 6 as we go side by side here? Can we do it round the outside? Yes, we can. We're back into second place. That's a great overtaking manoeuvre as we chase down Mika Hakkinen now. So we go in just the end of sector 2, going towards that fast chicane. We're side by side. Will we be able to take the lead here? Mika Hakkinen chops across our nose and he retains the lead. So we skip it to the next lap. We're going towards that same chicane, but Mika Hakkinen's run wide through the first part. Will we be able to punish him and take the lead? Yes, we have, as we're in the lead now. Now, we stay here for about 20 or so laps. Mika Hakkinen, as you see there, he's right on my rear wing. At most, I only got about 2 seconds away. As we go onto the start finish straight, as we cross over the line here, it will give you the top classifications. So we'll cross the line, and it'll be us from Mika Hakkinen. I believe it's Michael Schumacher who is up to 3rd. Yes, it is. David Coulthard is 4th, Irvine 5th, and Damon Hill 6. As we skip to lap 21 here, so we're going through that fast chicane. And Mika Häkkinen's had a great run through there, so I'm going to go defensive here. Can I keep a hold of this lead? He's looking really racy at the moment, and he goes completely around the outside of us. Great overtake by Mika Häkkinen into the lead. So we need to get that back as soon as possible, because we're heading towards 2-stop territory here. So maybe Mika Häkkinen might be pitting in the next couple of laps. If we keep close to him and he's on a 2-stop, it'll be really great for us. But we'll skip it a little bit more round. And we're going towards that far chicane again, and I get a really poor run through here because I'm touching the grass, I'm off the track, and DC takes us for 2nd place. We'll be able to keep 3rd from Michael Schumacher. That's absolutely disastrous for us. As we go into turn 13, we've got a yellow flag. Why is that? Mika Häkkinen's out. Häkkinen is out along with Alexander Wurz. They both got blown engines, and the safety car has come out. So I'm thinking of changing my strategy. I was on a 1-stop. I think I'm going to change it to a 2-stop here as we go through the chicane into the pit lane. This is going to work out great for us, or does it? No, we were speeding in the pit lane. I forgot to push the limiter down, so that is going to absolutely wreck our race, because we're going to have to come in and do a 10-second stop and go penalty. So just finishing our pit stop here, and we're leaving. Where will we come out? And we're going to come out in 6th. That's Rubens Barrichello there in the Stewart in 7th. So we are still in the points, but we will have to take that penalty as we go to the end of the 1st sector, and we can see our list of retirements there. Häkkinen, Wurz, De La Rosa and Luca Badoa in the Minardi. So we go to the end of the lap. The safety car is coming in. I've got Marc Genet in the Minardi in front of us. We've got a bit of other traffic, so I think it might be best if I come in early and take my penalty, so I'm not losing time in the traffic. If we come down into the pit lane, limiter is on this time as we go down the pits, and this will be a long 10 seconds. So we've already lost 7th place and 8th place. We're into 9th now. We'll be able to stay in the top 10 after this penalty. We've still got 5 seconds to serve. As we get ready to go, there are cars coming down the pit straight, and we've actually dropped to 10th place because that's Giancarlo Fisichella in the Benetton that's just passed us. So we'll get past him as quickly as we can, hopefully, as we leave. And we skip it forward about half a lap to the back of the lake here as we go through 9 and 10. And Fisichella really slow though, giving him a bit of a ram. As we now go back past him again. Has he got a problem? Is that why he was so slow? But thankfully our wing wasn't too badly damaged. So we skip to lap 29, and Fisichella didn't seem to have a problem because he's racing us again. He's on our inside here going towards the far chicane. I think it might be best to let him go here as he goes through. We're back down to 10th place, but he's had a really poor run through there. Can we get that position back straight away? He's gone quite defensive here, so we're going to have to go around the outside, but he's outbraked us and he stays in front as we go into the final couple of corners here. But Fisichella might be pitting at the end of this lap because this is the 1-stop lap to pit, and he does, so we will be getting that position back straight away. So we're back into 9th. Will we gain any more positions? Yes, we will. We'll get up into 8th. Now we're nearly back in the points again. So back then only top 6 gave points rather than today's top 10. To skip forward another lap, we go into 7th, go into 6th, and we've got Ralf Schumacher in front of us in the Williams. Just come out the pits. We'll be able to take advantage of that. Yes, we will, because we've got a run on him, and we've gone into 5th place. That'll be 2 World Championship points. So it's a great recovery drive after that penalty, and Ralf Schumacher nearly takes us out there. And we're going to be chasing after our teammate Damon Hill as we go towards the final couple of corners. We had a look into that left-hander, and we go right round the outside into the right-hander and onto the pit straight. We're into 4th position, and that's actually the leaders in front of us. So it just showed you how much that stop-go penalty screwed us. We'd be miles ahead of them, and you know, it was to play a major role in the race as we skip to the end of lap 33, and that is Michael Schumacher we got in front of us. We've got a run, we're in this slipstream, we'll be able to pass him. He goes a little bit defensive, but he's going to let us through. And we're chasing down DC and Eddie Irvine, who have a very poor run. That's yeah, that's us into second place. We'll be able to get first. Yes, we do. We gone past both DC and Eddie Irvine into the lead, and that's probably the best case scenario because we want to get as much space between us and them as we can, as we will have another stop to complete. And what we don't need is we don't need this traffic. So we've got Ricardo Zonta in the BAR in front of us, and we've run a little bit wide there. We have lost a bit of time. It's not really ideal, but we skipped to the end of lap 44 here, so I'm going to be coming back into the pits for my second stop. And this was to be a very close thing on the exit, but I could have got out in front because I made a very slight mistake here. I went to adjust my fuel first and then changed the tyres afterwards, which added 6 seconds to our stop, as I knew I made a mistake there. And we're coming to the end of the pit stop. We pressed OK, we're ready to go, and those are the leaders going by. We're down second, down into third. Will we be able to keep 5th place? Yes, we have. We just come out in front of Damon Hill, as the leaders are really close together, as you can see there on the screen. The top 6 covered by 8 seconds, as we skip a little bit further along, and they've given DC a bit of a ram there because he was so slow. But my teammate Damon Hill, he's right behind me as well. He's going to put me under pressure going into this fast chicane, as I have made a mistake, and that's going to be Damon Hill coming through, and I hit the wall there. Thankfully, most of the time on this game, if you do hit the wall, you will bounce off of it. As we're coming under pressure from the Sauber, that is actually a lap down, and we've run wide there, and we actually got hit by Ralf Schumacher there in 6th place, as both Johnny Herbert and I think that was Jean Alesi in the Sauber overtook us there. They have unlapped themselves, so it wasn't full position. We'll go back round the outside of them, and we need to chase down those leaders again. I'm on the freshest tyres here, so I should be at an advantage. As we see their top 6, only 6 seconds, so you can see how close it is from getting 10 points and getting 1 point. As we skip a little bit further to lap 46, we've taken Damon Hill, we've taken DC. We'll be able to get the Ferraris here. It was a really poor run for those two, as we're into 3rd place or into a podium. We'll be able to get the lead because that's Eddie Irvine just up in front. He's the leader. We've got Michael Schumacher in 2nd, we're in 3rd. As we are in Michael Schumacher's slipstream here, will we be able to pass him going into turn 1? And we're just a little bit too far back as we go into lap 47, but this is amazingly close, only 3 seconds on the top 6. As we skip to the end of lap 47, I've got a run on Michael Schumacher again. I'm in his slipstream. Will we be able to get first? Well, in fact, actually it'll be 2nd place. We'll be able to get 2nd place off of Michael Schumacher, as I stay back here. But Michael Schumacher's so slow in the middle of the corner. I've hit him and he's spun off. Oh my goodness, that is not what we wanted, because that gave us a little bit of damage on the wing. And David Coulthard's got us under pressure going into turn 3. He's given us a little bit of a knock. He's knocked us wide, and he's taken 2nd place. So that's how quickly positions can change. I guess that's a bit of karma for what I did there to Michael Schumacher. So that has allowed both DC and Eddie Irvine to get away from us here. We'll be able to catch up with them. There's, I think there's 18 laps remaining, so we'll be able to get back into the lead. Maybe not if we run wide there. Now we're going to the lap 50 here. Now on this lap here I have quite a few disastrous corners, so I'm looking too much behind me at, I think that was Ralf Schumacher in the Williams there, and I've ended up hitting the wall, and I'm concentrating so much on the stuff behind me. I've had a really bad chicane there, and it's going to get even worse up ahead. I'm just focusing too much on the traffic behind and not really focusing what I should be doing, because I end up running wide here at turn 13, so I'm going to lose my podium position, drop down into 4th, into 5th, and that was Damon Hill who's hit us up the side there. It was my fault, I didn't join in safely. But we're going forward onto lap 51, and we take 4th position back, and will we be able to get 3rd back from Ralf Schumacher? We had a look there going into the final couple of corners, but he stays ahead, but we're in his slipstream here. He's going a bit defensive, he's blocking us off. Great defensive driving there by Ralf Schumacher as he pulls away a little bit. We'll be able to get him into turn 1. He gets even more defensive. That's great driving there from the AI to keep me behind and keeping me off the podium. As we've got Michael Schumacher behind us, who's got past Damon Hill, and he's telling us he wasn't happy about what I did earlier. Gives me a little bit of a ram, but will that cost him? Because Damon Hill was really close behind him. I'm closing up on Ralf Schumacher. Michael Schumacher's closing up on me, and Damon Hill's closing up on all of them. As we go towards turn 9 here, and Damon Hill actually has got a run on Michael Schumacher. Will he be able to pass him as we go into that right-hander? And Damon Hill has got past Michael. Great overtake there. And we skipped to lap 54. Got a little bit of a touch there from my teammate. He's telling me I'm going a bit too slow. He wants to go a bit faster. So we go towards turn 3 and run a little bit wide again. And Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher have passed us, so I'm down into 6th place. So I'm only on 1 World Championship point. If I didn't have that stop and go penalty, I would have been winning this race by a long way and having the full 10 points. But I'm now going to be under pressure from Rubens Barrichello in the Stewart, who always stayed, he stayed just a little bit behind us, and he could actually get a point out of this if I make a mistake. So I'm really desperate to keep Rubens behind. As we go on to lap 56, we're going to go into the fast chicane round the back of the circuit. And I've had an okay run through there, but Rubens has had an even better run. He's got that really powerful Ford engine. He's going to put me under pressure as we go into turn 13. And there he is. He's right behind us. If we make any sort of mistake, we're going to come out of this race with nothing. As we go into the final corners, he's given me a couple of nudges there. He's really trying to force his way through as we go on to the penultimate lap. And this was probably the most tense I felt all race, because 2 laps to go and I'm staring at getting no points as I shortcut the first corner there. And Rubens Barrichello, he always stayed just behind us, just outside the points, and he's now putting me under pressure. So maybe that was his tactics all race. Probably knew he couldn't fight the leaders, but let us fight amongst ourselves, wear ourselves out with the tyres and get a few knocks on the wings, and he could actually get a point out of this. As we go round the back of the lake towards turn 9, he's still right behind us. We need to get every braking point perfect as we have a slight slide there, and he's still putting us under pressure as we go towards the fast chicane round the back of the circuit. We had an okay run last time, but he had an even better one. What's going to happen on this one? So we've had another okay run. He's had an even better run again, so he's going to put us under pressure going into these last few corners of the lap. I go defensive, and Rubens Barrichello is going to go right round the outside, a bit like Mika Hakkinen earlier, but he's not quite got enough in front of us, so we've been able to keep the position, and he's knocked us in the back there, and he's gone off the track. So Rubens Barrichello might have just lost that chance at the final World Championship point as I go on to the final lap. Irvine and DC side by side as they went over the start line with 0.0 on the final lap. Who's going to win that one? We'll be able to keep our final world. And we head over into the final sector of the final lap, and as we go into the last couple of corners, it's going to be Eddie Irvine in the Ferrari, who has won his first Grand Prix. It will be David Coulthard who finishes second as I run wide, and that might put me under pressure here, because Rubens Barrichello, even though he went off on the previous lap, he was still very close to us, but we are still far enough ahead, and we will take the final World Championship point in 6th place. Is our top 6, so Eddie Irvine from DC, from Michael Schumacher, from Damon Hill, from Ralf Schumacher, and I get the final World Championship point in 6th place. As there are the 4 results. Very exciting race to start off this series. Hopefully if you enjoyed it, please press that subscribe button, press the notification bell. Going forward, I'm hoping to improve the production, so hopefully get some better cameras, get some better microphones, find a way of actually filming my TV properly, where you can get it directly off the screen, because this one I just literally stuck my camera in front of the TV screen to film this. But if you've got any suggestions on how to make the series better, please put them in the comments down below. I really want to make this something big. that you would all enjoy. So our next race will be in Brazil, Interlagos. Hopefully we will see you all then. And as before, hit subscribe, press the notification bell, and we'll see you then. For Zonta and for Michael Schumacher. So game is pretty realistic when it comes to driver changes. But I hope you all enjoyed, and you know, I'll see you next time in Brazil.